Hello students, welcome to English online class. I am Pallavi from DV Public School Mathurapur. Today we will study the poem The Wind. We all know that wind is a natural phenomena which occurs. Now this poem Wind has been written originally in Tamil language by Subramanya Bharati and it was translated into English by A.K. Ramanujan. Now, basically, in this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of the wind has been described. The poet says that the wind is destructive. Now, the poet has linked the destructive power of the wind to the adversities of life, to all the challenges and problems that we face in our life. And the poem says that the weak people, those people who are not strong enough, they can they can easily break down and the stronger people emerge out more stronger. The overview of this poem is that the weak willed can always be overpowered by the strong. On the other hand, the strong can stand and face all the hurdles and the difficulties of the life with strength and conviction. Now, so the poet gives us an important message. The poet says that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of the life. Now, let us begin reading the poem. Today we will discuss about the summary, rhyme scheme, poetic devices, and question answers. But before starting the poem, I want to tell you that this poem consists of a total of 22 lines, and here they are not separated into stanzas, but I have divided the poem into meaningful segments for ease. Now, let us start with the poem. Wind, come softly, don't break the shutters of the windows, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. Through these lines, the poet depicts the destruction caused by the wind. Now, the poet appeals to the wind to be gentle. He requests the wind not to break the shutters of the window, not to scatter the papers, not to throw the book off the shelf. Now, next stanza. There, look what you did. You threw all them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Through these lines, the poet reprimands the wind for the mess it has caused in the house. The wind has not only thrown the books but also torn the pages of the books, which means that the books cannot be read. Now, the poet looks out of the shattered windows and accuses the wind of bringing in more rain. Actually, the rainwater can cause further damage to the maze in the room as it enters the room through the broken shutters. Now, I want to say that this strong and gusty wind signifies turmoil and trouble in our life. Now, next line. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. Through these lines, the poet, in a subdued tone, accuses the wind of troubling the weak and fragile, or someone too meek and mild to protect themselves from the harness of the world. Now, see here, the situation idiomatically implies that the troubles in life come as suddenly as the wind, causing destruction and leaving behind destructions and devastation. Now, next line. Now, through these lines, the poet states that the wind is too self-willed, egoistic. He will not listen to any appeal. So it is for us to protect ourselves. We must build strong structures with firm foundation so the wind can neither harm nor penetrate it. Now, the poet wants to convey the message that if we are strong-willed, we can face all the hurdles or troubles in life easily. On the other hand, if we are weak, then we will be surrounded by the strong forces and can be downtrodden and eventually be destroyed. Now see here, the wind blows out weak fires, he makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good, we praise him every day. Now here the poet describes the merits and demerits of the wind. He says that it can blow down weak fires, but if the fire is burning fiercely, then it will make it burn with a stronger force or more powerfully. The poet concludes that the wind is a friend now is a friend to the strong, but will be enemies to the weak who fall prey to its force. Now, at last, the poet invokes us to sing devotional songs in praise of the God for motivating us to be strong, to face the challenges of the life. Now the poem has been completed. Now we will discuss the poetic devices used in the poem. There is no rhyme scheme in the poem. The entire poem is written in free verse. A very prominent literary device is anaphora, and anaphora is when a particular word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines. See here, like these three lines starts with the word don't. So this is anaphora. Anaphora. See here. And the next important device used in the poem is personification. In the entire poem, wind has been personified. Here you can see when poet says that you are. The poet is referring to wind as you. That means he is treating wind as living thing. And the next one is alliteration. All of you know that alliteration, it is the repetition of consonant sound words in close connections. So we can see here. So before winding up this session, I want to discuss the questions related to this chapter. First, why does the poet appeal to the wind to come softly? Why is the poet affected when the wind has brought rain? Again, why should we build strong houses? How does the wind make fun of weak? What is the symbolism of wind? What is the theme of the poem, The Wind? Now, this chapter has been completed. I hope that this video will help you a lot. Thank you for watching this video. Okay, now thank you once again. Bye bye.